So, Shambhavi, please introduce yourself to the board briefly within a minute.
So my full name is Shambavi Tiwari. I'm from Kitcha, Uttarakhand. I have done my graduation in Bachelor's of Technology Electrical Engineering from Govind Ballabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar in 2021. After that, I have been preparing for civil services examination. This is my third attempt, first mains and first interview. My interest includes crafting intricate lipin art and doing organic and organic and eco-friendly kitchen gardening.
And you have your interview in January 21.
Yes, sir.
Well, good. You do have some time, not on. And what were your option?
So my optional is anthropology.
Oh, anthropology. That's good. So, Shambhavi will start. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How do you differentiate between cultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology, and biological anthropology?
So cultural anthropology encompasses all the socio-cultural aspects right from the evolution and the continuous contemporary developments that are happening in the society. And linguistic anthropology, I can say, is a sub-branch of cultural anthropology as well, because language is the manifestation of culture. Linguistic anthropology deals specifically with the evolution of language, starting from the glottochronology and later to the development of the contemporary languages as well. The biological anthropology, whereas deals with the physical component of anthropology, dealing with the evolution of human race right from the time Paleolithic times and before that as well to the contemporary times.
Give me some interesting example of biological anthropology. I'm a layman. You tell me how something has transformed during the last 100 years or 1000 years. Say the people of Uttarakhand, how they have transformed in the last 1000 years, 2000 years, or say 100 years. What changes do you observe?
Sir, citing a specific example of Uttarakhand, I would like to state the example of the Jaunsar region of Uttarakhand. We have the Jaunsar tribes living over here. They believe that they are the ancestors of Pandavas. So they engage in a patrilineal and...
Got it. Now another question is, whenever I ask about biological anthropology, the immediate response is to go to some tribe in Andaman, Nicobar or Uttarakhand and then try to justify biological anthropology. Why only tribals? I have also evolved, my parents have also evolved during the last 1000 years, 100 years. Why do all anthropologists give example of tribes only?
Sir, we can cite the example of the human as well, direct mainstream people as well. We do not have to specifically cite the examples of tribals. But in this case, I cited because it was an interesting example from the state.
That was just an interesting observation. Whenever I ask about biological anthropology, people go to Andaman straight away. Or they go to Himalayas and other places. Anyway, second question. What is Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023?
The Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 was recently made into an act by specifically on the recommendation of the Justice B.N. Sri Krishna Committee. It implies a accountability measure on the social media intermediaries and the digital principals and digital fiduciaries. There is a principle of consent which is there in the act, safeguarding the privacy as well as ensuring the accountability of these digital principles towards digital fiduciary towards the data of the digital principal. It also creates a mandate of creating a data protection board and to report any sort of cybersecurity attempt breach that happens to the data protection board. And if the digital fiduciaries are not compliant with the norms, they would be facing penalties under the act as well.
Okay. Recently, there is a talk to curtail to restrict the use of social media for a particular age group, and certain countries have banned it also. India is also thinking of those lines. What is that controversy?
Sir, I'm really sorry. There was just another call coming on the laptop. I could not hear the question. The voice dipped down in between. I'm really sorry.
Now, recently there is a talk going on to restrict the use of social media for youngsters.
Yes, sir.
Right? Certain countries have already done it. India is also thinking to do it. Why? What is the need to do that? Why can't we have a free society?
So the recent example was of Australia. The country mandated that the social media should be accessible only under specific condition and by the permission for the children under the age of 16 years. India should also create such a provision, but that would be difficult to enforce because there are means to bypass it and it would be openly flouted. But citing that over negative impacts of the social media on the adolescent's mind, there should be a need to regulate it, but that should be a soft approach which should incorporate both the efforts from the social media companies as well as the parental consent should be there. Right from the childhood itself, the schooling education should also endorse the positive impacts of social media and should also warn the students about the negative impacts of it, so as to manage the privacy, liberty, and the democratization of social media, but also keeping in mind the negative impacts that it can have, such as the polarization of the society, the degenerative impact on the creativity of human mind.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Salis.
Good morning, Isha. Good afternoon, okay now.
Good afternoon, sir.
So tell me, Isha, closer to your state, in UP, the next Mahakumbh is about to happen.
Yes, sir.
So what is the digital infrastructure which has been created for the safety of the devotees?
Sir, the digital infrastructure in the Mahakumbh that is happening in Prayagraj has been multifaceted. The approach has been multifaceted. We are using drones so as to increase the intelligence and the surveillance capacity in order to prevent any sort of crime, especially the stampede in such an event which is happening at such a larger scale. And the other thing that is there is the AI chatbot, which has been facilitated by the government itself, so as to provide information about the services being organized, and in that too in regional languages, so that it can aid the visitors in accessing the Kumbh easily. The other thing is the district administration, along with the railway administration over there and the special teams that have been created for the Kumbh. They are managing the real-time data analytics and swarm intelligence by the drone to manage the traffic at the place and also to manage the influx of tourists that are coming via trains to the Mahakumbh.
Okay, very good. So now you have a very interesting hobby called Lipan art.
Yes, sir.
So what motifs do you use, or you don't use any?
So motifs, as in that I create from Lipan art?
Yes.
Sir, I create geometric patterns mostly because they are easy to create, and apart from that, there are floral patterns that I follow. We can. I do not do it, but usually we can also create motifs such as animal and cultural motifs from the region specific itself. But I usually do it on geometric patterns and creating mirrors in between them, placing mirrors.
And what is your inspiration for the geometric patterns? From where do you get them?
Sir, basically, I have been a student of engineering itself. So the engineering drawing subject has made me quite proficient in creating geometric patterns. So I like doing that only.
You create your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So tell me, suppose you are a district magistrate in, say, your home district. So what schemes of the government of India you think would help in creating a robust infrastructure in your district and sustainable development measures?
So the robust infrastructure, for that we can utilize the spaces that are available with the government under the PM Gati Shakti Yojana, and also incentivizing the public infrastructure, the lands and the infrastructure that is there with the PSUs, so as to incorporate it on a PPP mode, public-private partnership, into the regular use of domain of normal public. Apart from that, there is a mission on developing the sustainable tourism in Uttarakhand as well. Policy of Uttarakhand promoting the adventure tourism, wellness tourism, and other forms of tourism. For that, the government is creating expansion of the roads, but that should be done keeping in mind the sustainable and the the fragile and the unstable geographical conditions of Uttarakhand, because it is a hilly state. Apart from that, we can also, since it is a hilly state, there are possibilities of creating a Bharatmala Pariyojana of ropeway over here, decongesting the upper reaches of the Himalayas. But that should also be done keeping in mind the fragile environment of Uttarakhand. Last is the Char Dham corridor that is being developed and the rail project that is being proposed. That can be one of the solutions to it. And apart from that, the infrastructure could be for the creation of more greenfield airports, especially the helipads in the upper reaches of the state, enhancing the connectivity, and also using that services in the medical and the education domain, such as air ambulances.
Okay, good. My last question, what impact do you see the second Trump presidency will have on the world?
Sir, I think before even assuming the office, Trump has made a significant impact all across the globe. But there would be tariff and trade restrictions, because the campaign was itself making America great again. So that could hurt the trade economy, and that could also create more appellate requests in the WTO. The other that I could see was could be the destabilizing of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, because Trump has said that he would try to negotiate a peace deal between the two. The other could be unwavering support of Trump to Israel can create instability in the West Asia. So this is the domain that he should the path that he should tread very carefully, so as not to create any instability in the West Asia, the already disturbed region. Citing the example of India itself, the other thing could be the immigration laws, though they are promoted to be relaxing, and he would be curbing illegal immigration, but that could affect India because a lot of Indian diaspora isn't there in America.
Okay. Thank you, Shambavi.
Yes, please, Puri Saab.
Ma'am, you are and good afternoon. You are an excellent candidate. Tell me, what about the Rudrapur, your district? He has a fascinating temples. If you are asked to make a tourist circuit of Rudrapur and adjoining areas, what you will do as director tourism?
So the district itself is Udham Singh Nagar, but the headquarters is located in Rudrapur. So I'll just tell the Udham Singh Nagar tourist circuit, if I'll make. I would try to incorporate the Nanak Matta Sahib into the tourist circuit, first of all, because it is the most important pilgrimage associated with the Sikhism religion.
Guru Nanak Dev Ji ke naam.
Yes, sir. The other could be the Tanda, the Gurdwara at Nanakpuri Tanda. It is believed that Guru Nanak Ji spent the rest of his life over here too. The other would be the creation of the Pannagar University as a tourist hub, because it has a wide agricultural, lush green campus, which also serves as a tourist spot. The other thing that I can think of is the Sanjay Van, that is a tourist and recreational park, which has a zoo facility as well. So that could be another wildlife-based tourism over here. And the other could be the Nanak Matta Sagar Barrage. That would be also a recreational facility for boating and other water-based sports over here.
Ma'am, there is a famous Durga temple in your area, Atarya temple.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I just forgot. Atarya. Yes, sir. The Mela is also
temples. There are several temples in your area. You have to include some of them. Especially this Durga temple is world famous.
Yes, sir.
I think 3 lakh tourists visit every year this temple.
Yes,
sir. Okay, I come back. What are the basic needs for a good tourist hub?
So the first would be the connectivity issue. The other would be the tourist should stay at the location at night as well. That would increase the consumption of the services at the tourist place. The other would be the proper recreational facilities and hospitality industry that is flourishing over there to provide a resting place to the tourists and a comfortable stay at the tourist place. The other could be the clean environment as well. That would also be encouraging the tourists. And the last thing that I could think of is the proper transporting infrastructure apart from the local economy, market economy that is flourishing in the nearby region, which serves as a market for the tourist people.
Don't you feel the trained tourist guides are also important?
So that I think would be included in the market economy that I'm saying. Tourism, the tourist guide would itself be a service in that.
Because if there is not a good tourist guide, how he will guide a circuit?
Yes, sir.
I think the teachers in history should be incorporated with them.
Yes,
The
sir.
local lecturers. Your father is a lecturer now. In which subject he is teaching?
Sir, he's a teacher of political science.
Oh, great. So what upheavals are taking place in political scenario in world over?
So the geopolitical tussle that we see have been going on for the past 2 to 3 years in the Russia-Ukraine the region. The other could be the recent conflict of Israel and Hamas that has been escalating the tensions all across the West Asia domain. The other thing would be the Syria, the topple of the Bashar al-Assad regime in Syria, and the coming of the Al-Jolani HTS regime in Syria. The most important would be the Trump administration coming in United States of America, and India leading as a global economy and being a fastest growing economy all across the globe is the another thing that I see as a geopolitical.
Do you think if you are the president of a country and you are ready to mediate for this madness Ukraine-Russia war, what will be your role? I'm not talking about a Vishwa Guru. As president of a country, you can offer your service. कि चलो बिठाते हैं, बात करते हैं, खत्म करें.
Yes, sir.
So,
Sir,
what will be your role?
Sir, I would, if I considering from the president of a country that I'm from, having good relations with both Ukraine and Russia, I would like to bring them to a table, and I would like to tell them that this war is doing nothing. As of now, this war, no side is winning, and only the humanity is losing. We are losing casual civilians casualties that are happening in the region. So any sort of victory in such a scenario with human life being lost, innocent human life being lost, would not be a victory for any of the sides.
The Indian Prime Minister said, "This is no time of yudh, but of wood." How do you react to it? उन्होंने कहा है कि युद्ध का टाइम नहीं है, बुद्ध का टाइम है.
Yes, sir. I think he's trying to use the cultural diplomacy of India over here, and he's also promoting the idea of global peace, the values that India has stood for a long period of time, and he is also promoting the values of Mahatma Buddha over here, Gautam Buddha over here, citing the causes of suffering. The causes of desire, accumulation of power. We can do is to meditate, detachment from the material gains, and focus on the humanity as a greater good.
Okay. Since AI is gradually coming into the domain of a person, is it good or bad?
Sir, I think AI is a double-edged sword. To be precise, it has a lots of benefit, but if it is uncontrolled and it's not made responsible and transparent, there can be problems in the near future.
You are yourself a engineering student. How you will control the bad effects of AI on humanity as a whole?
The AI is a phenomena that is transcending the national borders. So I think a global partnership on this domain is very necessary. And we are doing it in the form of global partnership on artificial intelligence. We should adopt an approach which should be lighter so as to let the technology develop, but should also be an approach that is more cautious if the technology is not used in a right manner. So we should have a framework proposing the responsible and the transparent accountable use of AI. For that, we can include AI in the AI in the medical domain, the education domain, and the agricultural domain, and then the social sector schemes, so as to reap the positive benefits of AI. But considering the current geopolitical scenario, we have seen that AI is being increasingly used in warfare, especially in the recent war of Russia-Ukraine. We have seen it, and in the Israel-Hamas war. And AI, if not regulated, could create a lot of civilian casualties, as we have seen. So I think that there is a special need to include AI in the international laws that we have at the multilateral level, especially in the domain of warfare, in order to prevent the in order to prevent the abuse of human liberties and human life.
Last question. Do you agree there should be a Palestinian independent country?
I believe the two-state solution is the most apt solution to the problem that has been flourishing in the West Asia for over 50 years now, 60 years now. So I think there should be independent. Both the countries have the right to the self-determination, and there should not be either Israel or either Palestine. Both should be existing. Both should be in existence, and both should be allowed to live a life of dignity and respect.
And you have not replied to a question. Do you support the independent Palestinian country to come up?
Yes, sir. I support the independent Palestinian country, but not in the manner that is happening.
No, thank you. Next, Mr. Sarangal.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Shambavi. How are you?
Sir, I am good.
So, when chairmen sir asked you about the use of social media by children, right? And you gave a reply that India should also have a provision like that.
Yes.
True? Did you know India has already notified draft rules under the same act, making
Yes,
a provision?
अरंग साहब, हेलो,
जी,
थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए आप भी.
अच्छा अच्छा.
हम कैंडिडेट को तो बोलते हैं जोर से बोलिए, आपको भी बताना पड़ता है. आप भी थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए.
So, do you know that the draft rules have been notified under the same act you are referring to?
Yes, sir. So there is a concept of parental consent to be provided in case the data principal is less than the age of 18 years.
But that is that feasible to implement such a rule?
Yes, sir. So that is what I said. There would be problem in the enforcement mechanism, because there are easy ways to flout these norms, and who would be able to ensure the accountability if those norms are flouted. So that there should be a joint responsibility right from the side of the parents to the social media intermediaries and also to the government. A tripartite approach would help.
Okay, you somebody do come from Uttarakhand, right?
Yes, sir.
And Uttarakhand is quite a disaster-prone state.
Yes, sir.
Now it's generally agreed upon that disasters are development issues, not disasters really. These are developmental disasters rather than natural disasters. So naturalness is gone. Okay.
Yes, sir.
These are all man-made disasters. How do you react to this statement?
So Uttarakhand is located at a very sensitive geographical location at the fault lines, and is also in the 4th and the 5th category of the earthquake zones in India. So I think there are natural causes to the disaster as well, right, leading from the landslide to the earthquake, the recent one that we have seen in the Tibet region, the same belt of Eurasian plate being hit by the Indo-Australian plate. But these disasters, I think, are getting more intensified in intensity, and also they are getting more frequent and intensified because of the anthropogenic causes. The one example that I could relate to as of now is the creation of widening of roads in the upper reaches of the Himalayas, which leads to the bolstering the cutting of the slopes. That destabilizes the slopes and in turn increases more chances of landslides and other disasters that could follow from there.
But then you see, you yourself have answered this question. That means anthropogenic reasons are development reasons.
Yes, sir.
Earthquake maybe, yeah, to an extent. Okay,
Yes,
But
sir.
rehabilitating people or allowing people to have habitats in earthquake-prone areas, or having kind of houses which are not earthquake-prone proof.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is also a development issue, urban planning issue, or means rural development issue. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They are getting increased, and the recent example is of the soapstone mining that is happening in the Kanda region. It is destructing the strength of the houses, the traditional Kumaoni baulis that are situated in an earthquake-prone area, but have maintained their structural integrity even to the earthquakes of higher intensity. So development has negative effects, and we can see that in states like Uttarakhand, that development leads to disaster.
So what is the institutional arrangement for managing disasters?
Sir, at the level of the center, we have the National Disaster Management Authority created after the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami by the Act of the Parliament itself. Thereafter, we have the National Disaster Response Force under it to respond to any sort of exigencies in disaster, right from the rescuing to rehabilitation and resettlement. Thereafter, we have the National Executive Committee also working for the creation of the disaster policy and formulations. At the state level, we also have the same state disaster management authority, and even at the district level, to have decentralized disaster planning and management, we have the district disaster management authority headed by the district magistrate of the state. Specific states also have their disaster management policy. Like the Uttarakhand has its own disaster management policy mitigating the disasters throughout the hilly state.
Okay, my last question is, you spoke also about stampede.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Stampede, what is this stampede?
So stampede I can define as an impulsive movement of a crowd that could either be in one direction or could be in multiple directions, caused due to fear of a lack of space or some sort of barrier coming in between, and or it could be because of a thing to gratify something, thing to attain something, like we have seen in the yesterday case of getting tickets for the Vaikunt festival. So it is an uncontrollable movement of people, rapid, and that can cause casualties to the human life.
You see, stampede is associated with animals, animalistic instinct,
Yes, sir.
running around.
Yes, sir.
And there are people stacked up, confined in a small place. Can they run around and stampede?
Sir, if they are enclosed in a confined space and there is a danger or threat of something, and then they do it in order to protect themselves, and it is an individualistic act, but if all cooperatively work in such a situation, that the risk of a stampede causing any sort of human casualties could be minimized.
No, stampede never happens.
Okay, sir. So I'll read about it.
Never happens. Only death by crowd crush or crowd collapse. Yesterday, what happened was a crowd collapse.
Yes, sir. So they opened the gate. And
yeah, that is the force by the crowd. When they opened up, there was an empty space. So the crowd force did push people, and they fell down upon each other. Right. So thank you so much, Shambavi. All the best for your.
Yeah, Mr. Puri.
I've done it, sir.
You done it?
Okay. Yeah. So,
Classes.
Shambhavi, right? You're from Uttarakhand, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. So there are lots of fruit plantations there.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay.
So,
Let's assume you're the DC of.
Shambhavi, what do you understand by sleeping classes? Sleeping classes. Is it a good name?
So sleepy classes I have been associated with since my journey. So I think it is a class. It is a coaching institute which.
Why not wake up? Why not wake up classes?
Sir, that is the main intent, I guess, to attract people from sleepy world and get awaken from their sleepy position and enter into preparation mode.
Please go ahead, Shah.
Okay, good reply.
So Shambhavi, so let's say you're the DC of a district in Uttarakhand where there are lots of plantations, and now what's happening is there's a monkey menace in the plantation, and lots of monkeys are coming in and taking over, right, and eating all the fruits. And now the farmers have started shooting the monkeys. Okay, so as DC, how would you handle this situation?
Sir, I would like to contact the animal control authorities that are there in the district associated.
Okay.
And after that, if it is possible, monkeys are territorial animals, but if it is possible, I'll try to get them relocated to somewhere else, because the plantation itself has to be protected in order to ensure the farmer's income as well as the productivity of the land. But the shooting of the monkeys, I don't think so it is a right option, because animal life is also not at just the helm of the human life. So I think there should be a proper balance between the two. And if anything, if there is a proper rescue and rehabilitation and the transporting of those monkeys to somewhere, the menace causing monkey to somewhere else, I would like to do it.
Okay. But they tend to come back. We tried that. Like many times this has happened, right? You take the monkeys away, they come back, right? The fruits will attract them.
So in that case, I think we can use agricultural methods so as to divert those monkeys away from the plantations that we have, and we can have proper vigilance across the farmlands, across the croplands.
Oh, there was a very interesting thing which we see in the Israel-Palestine war is the use of AI in warfare. Have you heard about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what's the system's name in case?
So this, if I'm not wrong, the name is Lavender, and that is a surveillance instrument, AI-based instrument that is targeting and categorizing the people of Palestine and finding out if it is having if it is having any link with the organizations like Hamas. It has identified across 37,000 people as related to it, but the negative use of it is that it has a 10% error rate. So we can't justify the use of AI in this scenario without the use of human oversight over it, because it would create unnecessary trouble as well as harm the liberties of the people of Palestine.
You have anything to add?
Yeah. So Shambhavi, you got first position in university model parliamentary session on climate change. Have I got that correct?
Yes.
So what was it all about? Can you tell me?
Yes, sir. So it was just like a global convention, just like the UNFCCC, that COP that we have, and there were delegations of different countries, 2 people from one country, and we negotiated on the climate change and the concepts associated with it.
So do you think that in our parliament, our country's parliament I'm talking about, why don't we have more discussions on climate change or issues related to climate change? Why do you think, what could be the reason?
So that the climate change phenomena transcends the global national boundaries. So these are the discussions that requires cooperation from multiple countries. So these discussions are generally held at multilateral forums and at the global discussion dialogues. But there are also discussions on parliament when the opposition leaders try to create accountability of certain schemes that are initiated by the government in order to fulfill the NDCs for the climate, for reducing the impacts of climate change. But I think considering the political scenario of the domestic politics, only the parties are more focused on issues that are related to their election manifesto and related to their political agenda, and they just overlook. They just feel that it is a problem.
Do you think that there should be discussion in Indian Parliament as well on issues of climate change?
Yes, sir. I feel that there should be discussion, because this pollution, this climate change phenomena that we are seeing over here, we are having the negative impacts all across the country of it. We can see right from the Wayanad landslide that we have and the regular occurrence of the pollution in Delhi that we see in the winter months. So I think the legislature should hold the executive more accountable for its policies and implementation, and there should be regular frequent discussion on this topic as well. It would also create awareness among the common public that these sort of discussions are essential for combating the climate change.
Thank you, Sham.
Thank you very much. So Shambhavi, your formal interview is over. Okay. You can relax now, and now you can smile also.
Yes, sir.
Because there was no need to smile during the interview.
Yes, sir.
or was there any requirement?
Sir, I did not used to smile, but in some mock interview they said to keep a smiling face, so that's why I was
Smiling,
doing.
not exactly the smiling. I think you should look cheerful.
Yes. Yes.
इंटरव्यू के बाद में नहीं होना है cheerful, इंटरव्यू के पहले नहीं होना है cheerful. That you can control.
Yes, sir.
But during the interview, you have to be cheerful.
Okay, sir.
And let me tell you frankly, I'm a psychologist also, in addition to being a bureaucrat. By just being cheerful, a boy or a girl who is appearing before the interview board can make a difference of 5 marks. If you want 5 more marks to your kitty,
Yes.
so cheerful. और इंटरव्यू जैसे ही खत्म हो ना, फिर अपना गुस्से में आ जाना, ठीक है ना? गुस्से during the interview be cheerful. But let me tell you, okay, let me ask your own assessment about your own performance during the last 30-40 minutes. And if you're supposed to give marks out of 275, how many marks will you grant to yourself?
Sir, I think 170, 180.
Good. I'm very happy to that, because I was also thinking that only. You have done fairly well. Your confidence level is very high as compared to the other candidates of your age group, right? I like your communication style. You are cheerful also, right? And but there is no. You can always improve upon certain things. And improve upon would mean, suppose you have rated yourself 170, right? Now, I want you to add another 30 marks in that, right? Keep somewhere here, 170 तक तो आपने खुद ही कह दिया कि आप पहुंच जाओगे. Another 30 marks, 30 plus marks would make all the difference. That will show, if you are asked to add 30 marks in your written examination, it is impossible. But in the personality test, it is possible to make a difference of 15, 20, 30 marks by just having a good communication style, a good body language, right? You are fairly good. आपको बहुत अच्छा बोलती हैं, बहुत अच्छा कमांड है. कंटेंट भी मुझे कम से कम जो सवाल मैंने पूछे थे उनका कंटेंट भी आपको बहुत अच्छा था. कई जगह आप ज़्यादा बोल जाती हैं, ठीक है ना? तो थोड़ा रुकना चाहिए. जहाँ 2 लाइन से काम चल सकता है वहाँ 2 लाइन ही बोलिए, 4 लाइन मत बोलिए. 4 लाइन और पूछनी होगी तो वो इंटरव्यू जो पैनलिस्ट आपसे दोबारा पूछेगा, ठीक है ना? तो आपको यू गो ऑन. तो माय सजेशन वुड बी, whenever you to answer a question, pause for 2-3 seconds, collect your thoughts, organize them, and then come out with the best answer. ठीक है? तो ये आप करेंगे तो आपको बड़ा फायदा होगा. And I want you to add more passion. जनून, हिंदी में जनून सुना? जनून पिक्चर भी आई थी एक जनून, ठीक है ना? जनून जो है ना, वो मुझे जो है, जो यंग जनरेशन है हमारी, उसमें मुझे जनून दिखना चाहिए. पीपल लाइक इट. जब आप पैशन होता है ना, जब पैशनेट अबाउट समथिंग तो अच्छा लगता है. एक तो आप रोबोट की तरह बोलते ही बैठते हैं, एक पैशन है, आप थोड़ा बहुत हाथ भी लाएंगे, ठीक है? तो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड. एक और चीज़ मैं बताऊं कि रीड योर डेप्थ केयरफुली. बोर्ड के मेंबर के पास ये डेप्थ होता है आपका, इसको आप पेन ले दीजिए, एक एक चीज़ को सर्कल कीजिए जो भी आपने लिखा है. Each and everything mentioned in your depth should be known to you. If I can see, यहाँ पे मैं देख रहा हूँ आपके जो आपने हॉबीज, प्राइजेस, मेडल, स्पोर्ट्स ये वो दिया है. You have written 5 good big paras. बड़ा आपने 5 पैराग्राफ दिया हुआ है, ठीक है? देखिएगा आप, ये पॉइंट नंबर 14 है, उसको पढ़िएगा. There was no need to do that, but it has been done now. You can't change it, right? You have given almost everything under the sun. Now what happens? You have given free hand to the panel member to ask you anything from here. आप देखिए, क्राफ्टिंग से लेके, गार्डनिंग से लेके, इको फ्रेंडली से लेके, काउंसलर से लेके और वाइस चेयरमैन ऑफ समथिंग समथिंग कॉलेज टीम, सर्टिफिकेट, गोल्ड मेडल इन दिस दैट, पार्लियामेंट्री डिबेट, क्लाइमेट चेंज। मेरे ख्याल कोई हिंदुस्तान का कोई टॉपिक बचा नहीं है जो आपने यहाँ ना लिखा हो। लेकिन अब आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन ईच एंड एवरी वर्ड रिटन देयर। ये मेरी बात दोबारा बोल रहा हूँ मैं, इसमें से सवाल पूछे जाएंगे एंड दे कैन आस्क एनीथिंग। ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड। यू आर ए वेरी गुड कैंडिडेट, यू विल डू वेल। आई थिंक आपके, अगर आई रेट यू कि आपके 200 के करीब मार्क्स आए, ठीक है, तो अपना कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल को जरा हाई कीजिए, 20% हाई कीजिए कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल को, और चेयरफुलनेस को भी जरा 20% बढ़ा दीजिए। ओवर टू माय कोलीग्स।
Shambhavi, you are a very good candidate, and I see you there in a service. I would only like to add that, you know, Shakespeare once said that brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
So, as Mr. Chairman also pointed out, थोड़ा सा आप लंबा बोल देती हैं. So, try to collect it, you know, hold it somewhere, and then end it very nicely. So, because the more you speak, the likelihood of questions coming out from your own appreciation are more. Okay. Good luck to you, and you are well turned out. So smile more often. Smile your way through into the service. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Much has been said. You are an excellent candidate. You can improve. Since you have given a long rope to the interviewers with your 5 paragraphs,
Yes.
concentrate on them. Only question I asked you about tourism
Yes, sir.
of Rudrapur. First, you should know the Lord Rudra. His chariot was swept in Rudrapur. That's the name Rudrapur has come. Then in tourism circuit, you have given the tourist centers of only 6. Then I
Yes.
have to tell you that there were 6 major temples of Hindus. जहाँ लाखों लोग आते हैं मैडम,
Yes, sir.
सिद्धपीठ भी है, और
Yes, sir.
80% population of your area is Hindu, and there is a Muslim place also, because a bureaucrat is known to be a secular person.
Yes, sir.
So the first impression you got कि आप गुरुद्वारे बहुत जाती हैं, मंदिर नहीं जाते. That came to my mind. As we are governed by the Constitution, तो हमें तो सबका ही ध्यान रखना है. Then आपने उनकी कनेक्टिविटी की तो बात की, पर असल में आपने सिविक एमिनिटीज की बात नहीं की. गाइड का मैंने आपको कहा कि अगर गाइड ही नहीं होगा तो लोग दर्शन करके पैसे चढ़ा के वापस आ जाएंगे, एक पतासा लेके आ जाएंगे, कहीं से प्रसाद लेके आ जाएंगे. दैट इज नॉट ए टूरिज्म. टूरिज्म मीन्स यू हैव टू एजुकेट पीपल द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ द एरिया. अदरवाइज यू आर गुड, बट ओनली आप मुस्कुराते कम है.
Yes.
और कुछ हाथ पैर भी चलाओ. हम लोग सब चला रहे हैं.
मुस्कुराने के पैसे लगते हैं पुरी साहब, इसलिए
वो फ्री है बेटा, गॉड ने आपको फ्री दिया है. 30 नंबर ले लो उससे, 5 नंबर तो मिलेंगे ही. जब आप बॉडी लैंग्वेज भी यूज करोगे तो वो 170 से 210 तक आने चाहिए. योर मिशन शुड बी दिस. एज द चेयरमैन हैड सेड, रीड योर द सब्जेक्ट्स व्हिच यू हैव स्टडीड. एआई के आपके जवाब ठीक थे, इंटरनेशनल वाले भी ठीक थे, पर ट्रंप के जो आने के बाद होगा उसमें कुछ है भी कमी है. रीड अबाउट 5 थिंग, ब्लॉकेड, ग्रेटेस्ट अमेरिका. ग्रेट अमेरिका की बात नहीं करता वो सेकंड टर्म में. ग्रेटेस्ट अमेरिका, ग्रीनलैंड भी डाल लेना चाहता है, कनाडा को कहता है आप भी हमारे पास आ जाओ. ये कुछ कंट्रोवर्शियल चीजें वुड प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट पे है. शायद आज उसकी पनिशमेंट में के भी ऑर्डर हो जाएंगे फ्राइडे को. देखते हैं उसके बाद क्या होता है.
चलिए खुल्ला साहब, over to you.
जी Shambhavi,
Full one, sir.
all has been said. So answers were long.
Very long.
उसका जो गुरु मंत्र है वो मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि आपका जो कोर आंसर है, जो when you hit the nail, that should come in first 5, 6, 10 seconds. The baat, if you like, you can speak 2 or 3 sentences which may not be very important. So उसको आप इसको appreciate करने के लिए you see the news. One news today has come in the newspaper and tomorrow similar news will be followed up in a different context. तो न्यूज़ लिखने का जो एक तरीका होता है कि फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ और एट द मोस्ट 2 इफ इट इज लॉन्गर. कोर न्यूज़ उसी में होता है. उसके बाद वाले जो 10 पैराग्राफ है, जो 5 पैराग्राफ है, उसमें कुछ नहीं होता. दैट इज रेपिटेशन. कल का न्यूज़ देखें और आज का न्यूज़ देखें, यू विल सी देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रेपिटेशन, बट रेपिटेशन इज आफ्टर 2 पैराग्राफ्स. सिमिलरली व्हाइल यू आर गिविंग इंटरव्यू मींस पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट, तो पहला जो आपका कोर आंसर है, व्हाट यू वांट टू कन्वे, that should come in first 5-10 seconds or maybe 20 seconds. उसके बाद okay, you can add something. Okay, rest is all fine. Work on this and I think you are a very good candidate and you will succeed. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Acha, Shambhavi, if you have time, let's do a one-on-one, okay? Right, on the basic issues. Otherwise, we are fine, I think. I just want you to have your own answers as well, right? Not just the mains answers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just the same questions, but okay, what does Shambhavi think rather than what the standard answer in what we write in mains. That is the only part I would like to say, that I want to hear more about what your opinion is rather than other things, right? I think that's all.
Yes. Yeah. Hello. So Swami,
Yes.
last thing, usually a girl candidate is asked about the sari, कहाँ से आई है, क्या है, कलर है, नायलॉन है, कॉटन है, लखनऊ की है, हैदराबाद की है, क्या है, ये वो. So of course I am sure you will be wearing a nice sari on that day. So work on that sari also. They ask you a question not to test your knowledge. They just want to make you feel comfortable. और comfortable के लिए सबसे पहला यही होता है कि you are wearing a good jacket, you are wearing a good sari, कहाँ से खरीदा है, क्या है. So you should know about it. Okay? ये हो गया. बाकी मैंने जैसे पहले बताया है, I wish you all the best. You are a very, very strong candidate, you are a good candidate. You are much above in the percentile rank than many of your friends. So keep moving.
Yes, sir.
And all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Have a great day ahead, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.